we are Team 2, though we prefer to go by the terrible twos. My name is Emily, and here we have Matt, Clint, Joe, and Austin. We're going to be talking about East Palo Alto today. That's a city that's just a stone's throw from where I grew up, and it's a really interesting city because it's situated right next to one of the wealthiest cities in America. So first we're going to start by taking a quiz. So just go to kahoot.com or .it. You don't have to type in this whole link.
And that was barely disguised. Did you hear that?
Yeah.
That's why I said that as fast as I could. And then enter in this PIN. This is the PIN number. 952766. Alright, we got some people. Give you like 10 more seconds.
So just to give you a little bit of background about the game, you get points based off of response time. So you, not only do you get points for the right answer, but you get points if you're quick. And we have candy for whoever gets first place.
And the quiz is about the statistics of like the living conditions in East Palo Alto, so we just wanted to see if you guys know or how good you are at guessing. Alright. 3, 2, 1.
Alright, we're gonna start.
Alright. So we have the first question. What percentage of East Palo Alto residents have obtained a post-high school degree?
Options are there.
15, 30, 60. Right. So 16. 16%. Alright, moving right along. Nice job, Mel. Out of a score of 10, what is EPA's school rating? Schools are rated between 1 and 10. So we have one of these answers.
This is like representing the quality of the school, access to materials, that kind of stuff.
You should have picked it.
Alright. Nice job, I candy. That was the rating is 2. Alright, what is the average lifespan of a person living in East Palo Alto? Sorry. Answer is 61.9 years. Candy's last question, how many daily average shootings are there in EPA? Believe it or not, it is 4.7. There is a lot of violence in East Palo Alto, which is one of the main problems. Who is Keaton?
Right here.
All right. Nice catch. Okay, now I'm going to pass the mic to Joe so to talk a little bit more in depth about these statistics.
Alright, so kind of like what we said in the quiz, right? So 2 out of 10 for the school ratings is extremely low. It's lower than the national average, which it probably ties into the bachelor degree as well at 16.3, which is also extremely below the national average. Because kids don't really want to go to school in this area, and there's a lot of gang pressure to kind of join and leave trying to get an education, it kind of takes a lot of pressure, or puts a lot of pressure on these kids to kind of stay out of school. And also the fact that many of their parents don't have a bachelor's degree, there's no pressure from them to go to school as well. One of the sad facts is that there's like 1,700 shootings a year, which is insane. Like if you think about that, that's about 5 a day, which every couple hours you're hearing gunshots. And the national renting, the renting rate for the area is 77.8, which is extremely high, and it also contributes to the, I guess, instability and lack of community involvement in the area, because people don't have permanent roots, there's no real reason for them to get involved in local community projects. Just a little bit about the demographics. It's mainly Hispanic and Black with other minorities in there as well. And
Yeah, so when we looked at the original 54 indicators that are provided by Fundacion Paraguaya, we decided that most of them were actually pretty relevant to East Palo Alto. Only one of them we decided to change, which was the flood insurance to the earthquake insurance. But we decided that wasn't the most pressing issue to the research that we've done on the city. And so we decided to focus primarily on education, community, and security. And so we picked indicators that were important to those things. So as Joe already said, the school rate, the graduation rate is only 65% from high school. And so we decided that we really need to focus our indicators on having the children attend school. And one of those indicators for the red of being really poor in that area means that you know someone or someone in your family hasn't graduated from high school. And the majority of residents in this area fall into that category. So that's one of the areas that we really needed to focus on in order to move it up to the green. Part of wholesome group activities, there's a lot of gang violence in East Palo Alto. And so we decided that we should focus on having more religious and help-centered groups to be able to help these individuals move away from those violent activities and to be more productive with their daily lives. And then security and frequency of crime. Obviously 5 shootings per day is something that is really notable and serious that needs to be taken care of. And so actually within the last those statistics came from a couple of years back. In 2014, they hired a new chief police officer, and the crime rate has gone down by 64%, which is a significant increase, but there's still a lot of violence. And the red area for that indicator said that if you've been involved in a crime within the last 5 years or affected by a crime within the last 5 years, you would fall in the red category. And most citizens in the area fell into those categories, so it's still something that needs to progress. And then awareness of needs is their ability to create goals in a life plan. And a lot of these kids, they look at their lives and they see gangs around them or bad family influences, and there isn't a whole lot of future mentality of looking forward to what they can do and how they can progress. And so programs that can help implement them establish life goals would be really helpful in this area.
So in terms of for our potential partners, we have selected 3 different groups that could be helpful in teaming up with Fundacion Paraguaya. The first one is Foundation for College Education. This is specifically what we're looking for to help increase the education. The mission of this organization is to increase the number of students who graduate from a 4-year university. So there are several different programs inside this organization. One is targeted towards middle school students, that is free tutoring for them, free tutoring for high school students that prepares them for college. There's tutoring for people who are in college. There's tutoring for the parents to help them be successful parents and help to enable their children to be successful. And then there's also a scholarship program that teaches how to fill out financial aid, how to fill out scholarships, and what to look for in terms of those opportunities. However, 2 other organizations are really good, that would be really good to team up with Fundacion Paraguaya. Collective Roots is designed to introduce the entire population to a healthy lifestyle by building a community-based garden. So not only are people growing their gardens, they're also selling the produce and making money off of it and being self-reliant in that way. Project We Hope is designed to help people look for housing and to how to take care of it and how to finance it and to be able to live there. So these are the potential partners that Fundacion Paraguaya team up to combat poverty in this area.
So based on those results, our recommendation was that Fundacion Paraguaya should pursue a partnership with FCE, or Foundation for College Education, just because we found that a partnership with Foundation for College Education would lead to the most impactful long-term results, in that more children would be attending school, which would increase graduation rate, which would increase the number of students going to college, which would then increase the stability of the area by increasing income and decreasing crime. But we also found that Collective Roots and Project We Hope, because of the significant impact which they're making currently, pursuing a partnership with them is not something that we would not recommend, but it is something that we also recommend to Fundacion Paraguaya. For the organizational behavior applications that we found during our, as a team, was in communication. We never really had any communication problems, really. We were able to communicate really well. I think the only main problem there was information overload, just because of the number of classes we are and the scheduling conflicts, because we're all involved in so many different things. For group and team management, we saw that storming, norming, performing, norming, and performing was the biggest thing that we noticed, and that it really did play out that way for our group, and that we started out and it was a little bit more difficult for us to be really efficient and effective, but then we found that by the end we were almost too cohesive at times, and we would get a little bit distracted, but we also were very efficient in the work that we do, and it made coming to our group meetings enjoyable. And finally, for motivation theory, the two factors of motivation theory for hygiene as well as motivation, the hygiene factors were there for the class, but just because this is a class environment, there's not really opportunity to progress and increase our salaries and things like that. The motivation factors didn't play a huge role in it. But we also found that Maslow's hierarchy of needs played into it, and that our esteem, we needed to meet esteem needs because we want a good grade and that makes you feel good. Our safety needs because getting a good grade in this class leads to probably getting a better job, and then increasing income, which would lead to a more secure future, as well as the social needs, and that we didn't want to let down our team members because they're people that we interacted with.
So just to wrap it up, East Palo Alto, we think that Fundacion Paraguaya can be very successful in the community as they focus on education, community, and security. And obviously it's not going to be a change that happens overnight. They're going to need to take small steps to integrate themselves with the community and work with these partnerships in order to make an impact that will last long into the future. And that's about it, so thanks.
Crime rate.
Yeah.
Yeah, crime rate for sure. I mean, it's really interesting because I grew up in the area, and like in Palo Alto, you like Mark Zuckerberg lives there, and like all of these like tech moguls and a lot of like really wealthy people. And then in East Palo Alto, like it's just like this total dichotomy. So I think like, I mean, that wasn't a surprise to me because I already knew that growing up. But I think it'd be a surprise to anyone if they really looked at like where the city is located.
Because they are different.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me it was school ratings. I grew up kind of in Northern California as well, and my area was great. I had such a wonderful experience in high school and middle school there. But looking at the ratings, it was like 2 out of 10, 1 out of 10, 0 out of 10. And it was just blowing my mind because I was like, how can, like, you have areas that are so nice right next to it, and in that area it's so bad, it's so concentrated. So that's interesting.
Well, thank you. I really liked that thought that how much their peers not supporting them going to school in elementary and vocational. It's not just school here and you should go, but how much they're going to be mocked or that it feels pointless.
Yeah, well, and honestly, like the schools could be like a 10 out of 10, but if their students are not motivated, there's not like a culture of like doing well in school is viewed as like a good thing or like a cool thing, then it's never gonna have an effect in like because of all the gangs and like all of the violence and like the paths that people go down instead of going to college and going to school. It's just you have to create that culture first.
Which to me reminds me of Joseph Redding's change the ability, change what social support is around the